Hello everybody and welcome to the setup video for our beginning Unity workshop brought to you by the Computer Science Club, IEEE Swinburne Student Branch, the IEEE Sarawak Sub-Section, and the IoT Cybersecurity and Networking Cluster of the School of ICT here at Swinburne University, Sarawak. My name is Dr. Mark and I'll be guiding you on preparing your working environment before we begin our hands-on session during the workshop. Now, before we start, we're assuming that you are at least comfortable with your computer and know your way around installing and setting up software. We also assume that you have some programming experience, preferably in Visual C# and object-oriented programming. It would be good if you have some general idea what computer games are made of, or at least have played them. And optionally, it would be good if you have some experience in hardware interfacing with serial communications between the PC and microcontrollers such as Arduino. Alright, without further ado, let us start by heading over to unity.com to download and install Unity Hub on your computer. Okay, so go to your web browser and look for unity.com here. And the first thing you guys should do is to create a Unity account if you don't already have it. So head on over to the top right corner here, select create a Unity ID. Alright, I will leave the sign up to you. Most probably you're going to be required to do a verification via email. Right. Once you're done with that, make sure to log in into your account and we will continue. Alright, so I already have an ID. I'm going to click this one here and I will log in with my personal account. Give me a moment. Right, sign in. Once you do that, you will have your personal info over here. Get back to Unity, and we want to download and install the Unity Hub installer. All right, and to do that, let's see if I can find the way. There we go. You see this? There's an option for download Unity there. You click this here, and you'll be given this option. Alright, make sure you download the appropriate version for your computer there. Okay, select your platform here and then click and download Unity Hub installer. Alright, now while that is happening, we need to go and install something else. So go over to your web browser again and this time search for Visual Studio. Okay, you're gonna need this in order to get the scripting environment running. So come over to Visual Studio IDE here. We need to look for Community Edition. So if you scroll down, you can see this option there. Pick Community 2019, alright? Because Community Edition of Visual Studio is free. So, okay, your download will start shortly. So once the downloader is up, make sure you download the installer and install this as well. Okay, the installation process will take you quite some time because you may be required to restart your computer. Now, at one point of your installation for Visual Studio, you're going to see a menu that looks something like this. So when that happens, make sure to check the .NET Desktop Development component and the Game Development Unity component. Alright, your total installation for Visual Studio should be about 7 to 8 gigabytes wide, but your mileage may vary. And it also depends on your internet connection. Okay, it's going to take some time and you're going to be required to restart your computer a few times. That will be normal. Alright, for the rest of you guys who already have Visual Studio Community Edition installed, don't worry, because you can just run the Visual Studio installer again and you should see your entry to look something like this. Click on modify and you will get the same menu, right? So make sure to get this one, these two components, the .NET Desktop Development and Game Development with Unity checked and installed. Okay, now I already have this done for my computer here. So the next thing you should do is to install the Unity Hub. Right? That should be quite clear cut. So once that is done, all you have to do is just look for the Unity Hub over here. Unity Hub. Okay. And once the program loads, it should look something very similar to this. Okay. Except that you should have an empty project list here. I've got the two sample built up and ready. So there are two things that you need to do in this page. First, you gotta make sure to install a version of the Unity engine. This is just a framework to house your projects and your engines together. So what you should do is click on the install tab here. All right, I've got two engines installed, so I'm just going to remove one just to show you how it's done. Okay, so just click on add, all right, and select your version of the Unity engine that you want to use. My recommendation is either you use Unity 2019.4.13 F1. So this is a long-term service version, but the one I'm using here is the 2020.1.11 F1. Okay, so let's say I want to install this one, right? So let's just click next. Add the modules to the Unity. So we have Visual Studio over here. What you should also do is check on Windows build support, okay, if you're on Windows. All right, and click next. Agree. We're done. And then allow your computer to perform the installation. So what you do is you automatically download the files required for the game engine and install it on your computer. Okay. Now the second thing that you need to do here is to set up the personal license before you can build any project. So go over to the top right corner of your Unity hub here, and to your account there. So you see there's an option that says manage license, right? You click this here, and yours should be empty. I already have one that's existing here. So in order to make a new one, just click on activate new license, select Unity personal, and because we're not using it on a professional capacity, so just click this so you can use it for free, right? And then your new license should be legible here. Okay, so just wait for your installation of the game engine to be complete first. Mine's just about done. All right, once you've done that already, we can start creating our very first project here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we can do it now, because bear in mind, right, that depending on how your computer's performance goes, it can take quite a bit of time, right? So try to click on new here, get a menu that looks something like this, and you can add a new title there. I'm just going to call this sample project 1. You'll be saved on this particular location that you can change to, right? We can do either 2D, 3D game or high definition role play, but it's okay to click on 3D because we want to learn how to do it in 3D. And just create it, and you will see that it's going to take some time for Unity to load all of the assets and and the game engine into memory. Okay, so it took my computer about 2 minutes for the UI to load here. So this is your user interface for Unity. Okay, this is the Unity editor. Now we're going to be largely working in this environment for the remainder of our very first workshop. I will show you how the important parts of the UI, what is it for, how to create some basic objects in the game world itself, how to start and stop the simulation, how to add new components to it so that you get physics, you can get scripting, and then we're going to learn about how to do scripting in Visual Studio. Okay. Now, before we can do that, I need you guys to come up here to File. All right. Select File here at the top left of your Unity UI editor here, and go down to Build Settings. Okay, and click that. So you're going to see a menu that looks something like this. Now notice that there's a button at the bottom left here called Player Settings. All right. So if you click that, you're gonna get another menu that looks like this. So this part is a little bit tricky because we need to hunt for a particular setting down here. Okay, let me see if I can find it online. Okay, here's the one. So make sure you have player selected. Okay, and when you scroll down the player menu here, you're going to see something that looks like this one here, API compatibility level. All right, currently it's selected as .NET Standard 2.0. You need to change this to .NET 4.x. Okay, all right. So this is important so that we can access the other sub-assemblies and libraries in C# that allows us to uh, interface together with the COM communications that's necessary for interfacing with hardware. Okay, so when that is done, just close this menu, close this one here. All right. So if you want to quit from your program, it's as easy as saving it here, or you can just outright exit. Okay. When you do that, let's see, you can see that your Unity hub is at the bottom. It's on the bottom of your taskbar there. You will see your project logged over here. Now at this point, this is all you need to do in order to set up your environment for our workshop. Now a couple of things before we end. This is the tentative content that we plan to cover during the 3 hours of our workshop. Okay, I will guide you into creating a new project and getting to grips with the UI of the Unity editor. After that, we will begin to add some objects into your game environment. Okay, by creating a ground plane, a player object, and some other things that you can knock yourself into. All right. After that, we can change the shapes of said objects, and also the camera itself, which is by itself an object too. We can also add components to each of these objects and the environment, including physics, and I'll show you how to manipulate that. And then the most important part here is that we're going to learn how to do scripting. Okay, everything to do with developing games here, right? Involves some form of scripting to tie all of the assets together. Then this also includes the ability to capture keyboard commands and mouse clicks, so you can interact with your game environment. Okay. Finally, we will learn how to add your own UI into the game, and we will be able to tie multiple levels together, so there's some coherency in the structure of the game. Okay. Now the scripting part here is of most importance, because we will end the session by going into a preview of the two follow-up workshops to come. So the first part here is to teach you how to, well, at least just to show you an example, how we can interface our Unity game here with Arduino or similar microcontrollers here on the physical world. Alright. Next, we will see how you can take this further in building your game using ready-made assets through the asset store. Okay. Now a couple of tips that you guys might find this a bit useful before starting the workshop here is that I highly suggest that you have an alternate screen when you are attempting our workshop, because we'll be doing it live. So either you have a secondary monitor, or have a different computer or laptop next to you to host the MS Teams call, right? While your main desktop is running Unity, so you can do your own attempt side by side with us. Okay, and we can respond to your questions and on the fly as you are doing it. Okay. And don't forget, I mean, don't worry about missing out on any parts or falling behind, because we will do the recordings for the entire session and make it available for you as reference. All right. And finally, please don't feel, don't feel shy. Okay, feel free to ask us as many questions as you can, because at the end of the day, the goal of this workshop here is to give us a quick start on beginning our journey into Unity, and the hardest part is the starting. Okay, after that, we will show you the way to continue building on your own, and you will hopefully embark on your own journey in the exciting world of game development. So take care, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.